Hello and welcome to today's WorkSafe Tasmania Month webinar, Further Support for Employees, New Free Preventative Mental Health Programs for Tasmanian Adults. I'm Stephanie Morawski from WorkSafe Tasmania and I will be your moderator. Before we start, we ask that you take a moment to read the following slide about information received today. I'll now explain how you can participate in today's webinar. Please use the questions window on your control panel to type and submit questions at any time during the webinar. Questions will be addressed at the end of today's presentation. Only presenter webcams will be used and today's webinar is being recorded. I would now like to introduce your presenter, Nicci Tepper. Nicci is Mental Health Services Manager at Remedy Healthcare. In her previous role as an accredited practicing dietitian, Nicci worked with people with chronic physical health conditions, coaching them towards sustainable lifestyle modifications. Nicci is passionate about empowering people to improve their physical and mental health, both in the present and into the future. Welcome, Nicci.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'd just like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the various lands on which we meet. For me, that's the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Today I'd like to let you know about this new program which is being offered to all Tasmanian adults. We're really hoping to get the word out there to see how it might help different communities. We've got a short presentation to run through and then certainly have time for any questions at the end. Remedy Healthcare is a nationwide company. We're based in Melbourne, but all of our programs are delivered virtually. So telephone and online health programs is what we're all about. And we've got a specific suite of mental health services, which are now available at no charge for people in Tasmania. We've got two specific programs, Mindstep and Healing Minds, that I'd like to talk to you about today. Mindstep and Healing Minds are both low-intensity cognitive behavioural therapy programs, or CBT. They're led by mental health coaches, and the aim is to help people learn practical skills to improve their mental and emotional wellbeing. The reason that these programs are now available in Tasmania is to help tackle the growing mental wellbeing issues and to give people the skills they need to take control. Our programs are being funded by Primary Health Tasmania, which means that the programs are available at no cost. So, as I mentioned, the programs use cognitive behavioural therapy to treat symptoms of anxiety and depression. They can run independently as a standalone program or run alongside any existing care that someone may be receiving from their GP or a psychologist. Our programs are evidence-based and are clinically proven to improve symptoms of mental ill health. The programs can be accessed without the need for a medical referral. So the Mindstep program is accessed over the telephone in up to 8 weekly sessions or self-guided online. It's delivered by mental health coaches who have been trained through Flinders University. Our online program involves a participant logging into an app through their smartphone or on their computer to go through modules in a time and a place that suits them, and then they can have check-in calls from a mental health coach to see how they're going. Healing Minds is a telephone-based program. It's specifically for people who identify as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. We went through a significant co-design process with Aboriginal people to make sure that this program was culturally safe and appropriate. And one of the key features is that we have trained and hired Aboriginal people who work as the mental health coaches on that service. It's really looking at social and emotional wellbeing coaching. As I've mentioned, our programs are evidence-based. Cognitive behavioural therapy, which is where our foundations sit, are the most commonly used treatment for mild to moderate anxiety and depression. We have a strong focus on safety, and as such, clients are assessed for risk of harm at each appointment. Mindstep is based on a program which has been running in the UK as a part of their National Health Service for over 10 years. They have about 1 million people going through the program per year. There's a lot of strong research that we're working from here. We've had a couple of published studies on our work in academic journals, and are showing consistent improvement results of around 70% of people who take part in the program show a measurable improvement in their symptoms of low mood or high stress. In terms of who is the best fit for our programs, I've listed here some of the inclusion and exclusion criteria. So Mindstep and Healing Minds are available to residents of Tasmania over the age of 18. So for adults only, with mild to moderate symptoms of anxiety or depression. So this may be presenting as low mood, high stress, finding it hard to keep on top of worries, all the way through to someone with a diagnosis of anxiety or depression. The people who aren't suitable for our program would perhaps be someone with psychosis, who is sort of severely suicidal, who has a severe organic mental impairment, or has a complex mental health disorder. So they're what we'd all consider higher intensity mental health concerns and would be better managed with a psychologist, with a GP, and potentially with a specialist. Our program also isn't suitable for people who may be abusing substances. We also wouldn't recommend it for someone who's already undertaking a course of cognitive behavioural therapy or dialectical behavioural therapy, just because there can be a bit of a crossover. For employees, so as I've mentioned, everyone in Tasmania over 18 is eligible. We understand that sometimes that will mean that someone is eligible for several different services. So for employees who may be already eligible for an EAP service at their workplace, this slide just aims to demonstrate how Mindstep and Healing Minds may be used in conjunction with that existing care. So where EAP is often sessional-based care, they might have 3, 6, 10 sessions, for example, and it's often in response to a significant event. We find a lot of people using EAP because they've had some sort of personal or workplace trauma or a significant event. They can get that really specific psychological care to help manage through that time. And we know that the EAP services are funded through their employer. Mindstep and Healing Minds, on the other hand, is really well placed to help people manage what I would call ongoing or a day-to-day struggles with a low mood and high stress. So we don't need to wait for a significant event to respond and to reach out to them. We can offer this to, the whole range of the population. We can say these services are available if it might be helpful, and get people opting in really for that preventative approach. And noting that we do have that specific stream for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. And unlike the EAP service, we've got the fact that these programs will be funded externally using Australian government funding. Referring into the programs is very easy. Someone can do it by themselves, so a self-referral without the need to discuss it with a health professional or an employer or anybody else, or a health professional can refer someone in on their behalf. You can call the numbers listed here or visit the web page. And I was hoping to actually go to this web page today just to show you the referral forms. I'll see if I can bring that up. Oh, great. So this is our landing page. I might post this link in the chat as well so that you can go on in your own time and have a bit of a look. Not sure about everyone else, the visuals coming up a bit funny on my screen. And some more information about the program and buttons along the way about referring yourself or referring somebody else. I'll just roll down so you can continue to see some of this information. So we get in terms of referring yourself, all we need is a few details. I won't send that just in case this person gets an email. But hitting submit then means that your details will be sent through to the Mindstep or the Healing Minds team, and one of the coaches will reach out within 1 to 2 business days to provide some more information about the program and yeah, sign that person up if it seems like it's going to be a good fit. So minimal steps to sign up, no referral necessary. Really just hoping to get the word out there and, you know, let people know that there is this support available, some very practical skills to manage low mood and high stress, which, you know, it's always been relevant, but across these last sort of 1 to 2 years, becoming more and more important. And I think that's why the Tasmanian PHN, through the government, was keen to put some extra funding into this area. So I have got some time available for questions, but also just popped a note on here that if anyone would like to organise a further session, perhaps a presentation to your teams, get some brochures, or just hear more about the service, very happy for you to reach out to me offline as well. My contact details are up here. But for now, if anyone has any questions about the Mindstep or Healing Minds program, happy to go through them. Thanks, Steph.
Thank you, Nicci, for your presentation. So if anyone does have any questions for today's presenter, Nicci Tepper from Remedy Healthcare, please use the questions window on your control panel to type and submit those questions. And just a reminder to everyone that today's webinar has been recorded and will be made available following WorkSafe Tasmania month on WorkSafe Tasmania's YouTube page. A couple of questions coming through, Nicci. First, can you outline a little about what the sessions may entail? I realise it will be tailored to the person, but could you please provide a bit of an overview?
Yes, certainly. Good question. So I mentioned the programs usually run for around 8 weeks. The first session is a real get to know you session. We find out what the caller's main concern is and what it is they'd like to work on. And then with the coach, they'd set some collaborative goals in terms of what they'd like to achieve throughout the treatment. The coach would then send out a booklet with some CBT activities to the client, and that would be what they focus on for the remaining of the program. But the sorts of strategies that we use are common CBT interventions like behavioural activation, worry management, behavioural experiments, graded exposure. So through the goal setting, problem solving and working through those CBT activities. The client and the coach go through the program. We also have in each session some standard mental health screening tools just to track symptom improvement or worsening, which just makes sure we're providing appropriate care and referring clients elsewhere if that's going to be the best for them.
All right, thank you, Nicci. Another question, is there much of a waiting list to access these programs?
At this stage, no. We're really doing an active marketing effort at the moment. You know, it's quite strange. We haven't had the luxury of being able to offer our services for free before. So we weren't quite sure of how that was going to go. This has just been launched recently, so at this stage there's still good availability. And we do have you know, a fairly quick onboarding process with our mental health professionals should we get inundated. At this stage, that's all I can speak to at the moment. Clients are getting an appointment within a week.
All right, thanks, Nicci. Is it only during, are the programs only accessible during business hours or weekdays?
Yes, it is Monday to Friday, 8 till 5. For those people who can't fit it in during those time slots, and we do try to keep the sessions to around half an hour so we can squeeze it in, you know, in a lunch break or just before or just after work. If that doesn't work for somebody, then we encourage them to think about our online program. So that's via the app they can access that 24/7.
All right, thank you, Nicci. What have been the statistics on the improvement? So, for example, a 5% improvement or a 20% improvement?
Yeah, so we use a standard measure which is called the reliable improvement and reliable recovery rates. So if there's mental health professionals in the room, they might be familiar with the scales of the PHQ-9, which measures depression symptoms, and the GAD-7, which measures anxiety symptoms. Our programs have shown around a 60% recovery rate and around a 70% improvement rate. As I mentioned, we do have some published journal articles, so perhaps I could post those links in the chat if anyone wants to dive into the literature as well.
Thank you. Does someone monitor the progress of someone completing the online course? So, for example, is there interaction or a chat function?
Yes, good question. So what we encourage the clients who are completing the online course is to have a brief check-in with one of our phone coaches at a couple of times throughout the program. So after they've completed their first online module, when they're halfway through, and at the end. And that might be just a quick 5-minute conversation or via SMS to make sure that they're keeping on track. You know, if we're finding that they've missed time in between their modules and perhaps not as engaged as would be ideal to get the outcomes, we get alerts from that through our supervisor dashboard, so we can reach out to clients. And similarly, in the online program, when they're filling in their weekly measures, if they rate a high score that would suggest their symptoms are increasing, we receive an alert on that too and reach out to the clients to make sure they're okay. So it's sort of that combination between self-guided, but with some oversight.
All right, thank you. And how long does the program run for? You may have mentioned that in your presentation, Nicci, but if you are able to repeat that.
Yeah, of course. No, happy to. It's a lot of information to take in all at once. We aim to have weekly sessions, and depending on how someone's going, it would usually take between 7 to 10 sessions. That's when we do the core coaching. We do offer to then follow up with the clients over the following 6 months if they're interested in that. So that might be initially 1 month after graduating, then 3 months after graduating, then 6 months after graduating, just to check in to see how they're travelling along, if they're keeping up with the skills that we've worked through, if they've got any questions. really focusing on relapse prevention after they've done that sort of intensive coaching component across the first, it probably averages 2 months.
All right, thank you. Are you able to go through the startup process again, if possible?
Oh, love to. Just while I've been doing that, I just posted the link to our article. I'll see if that comes up for you, Steph. I might show it here. I'll go to our Healing Minds sign up page. So that's our program specifically for First Nations people. So similar sort of page with lots of information. I'll show you the quickest way to get there. Before I went through as a refer yourself, as a self-referral, there's also an option to refer somebody else. So this would usually be on behalf of, if you're a health professional, referring on behalf of a patient, or as an employer referring on behalf of an employee. Similar, we need only a small amount of information there. This is just to confirm that you've got the consent of the person that you are referring. Pop in the details. And as a referrer, if you want to be copied into any clinical updates, again, probably most relevant for a referring general practitioner, hit submit, and the team will call the participant within 1 to 2 days. I'm not sure if that answered that person's question. I can also go through as a self-referral again if that's more helpful.
Yes, if you could do that anyway, that would be appreciated, Nicci.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble navigating the page through the feedback, but I think it's coming along there. Oh, here we go. Again, you just click on the Refer Myself button, fill in your basic details, and hit submit. I might just post these links in the chat as well. Did my article link come up, Stephanie?
Just having a...
Oh, right. This just goes to us rather than the whole group, is it?
Yes, I'll forward that on to the attendees in a separate email as well.
Perfect. Thanks so much. I think the final bit then I'll put in for that email for the attendees is my email address, which was on that last slide, just in case anyone does want to catch up a bit more specifically. Happy to take that time as well.
All right. And is there any way that organisations can promote this internally on their intranet, for example?
Yes, great question. So if you reach out to me via email, what I can share is some of our content and imagery, which you could send out sort of as is, just basic information about the program and how to refer. Or, you know, if you'd like to bespoke it for your organisation, get the tone and the feel, really talking to your people, I can link you in with our marketing team if they'd like to work on a bit more of a sort of nuanced approach. But yeah, we're really keen to get this sort of information into workplace newsletters, onto intranets, up on social media. As I've mentioned, we're really just launching. So this this WorkSafe opportunity came at a great time so that we can get the word out there, and any way that we can continue to promote the offering is would be a bonus for us. It would be a shame if any of this you know, funding ended up unspent, given that it's there to help people improve their mental health, and we know that there's plenty of need there. We just have to connect with those people.
Absolutely. And are there any brochures available that staff could, you know, have, or workplaces could receive to have in their tea rooms, for example?
Yes, absolutely. So same thing. If you contact me, oh, excuse me, clicked one too far. If you contact me directly, we can organise to send out either soft copy if that works better for your organisation, or hard copy we can pop in the post. Also
All right.
posters to stick up if that suits the work environment as well.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Nicci. To let everyone know, today's webinar has also been recorded, so we will make it available on WorkSafe Tasmania's YouTube page if you would like to rewatch this webinar again. So actually just a question come through. Someone would like to know if there's anyone, oh no, sorry, no apologies. So sorry about that, Nicci. So just in closing, thank you to our presenter today, Nicci Tepper from Remedy Healthcare, and thank you everyone for attending today's webinar, Further Support for Employees, New Free Preventative Mental Health Programs for Tasmanian Adults. Following today's webinar, you will receive a survey. We do appreciate you providing us your feedback on today's presentation. Today's webinar has also been recorded and will be made available on WorkSafe Tasmania's YouTube page. For further information about Tasmania's WorkSafe Month, or for other initiatives funded by the WorkCover Tasmania Board delivered by WorkSafe Tasmania, please head to worksafe.tas.gov.au. On behalf of the WorkCover Tasmania Board and WorkSafe Tasmania, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much.